you. Hello, hello! We are currently getting underway with qualifying for round 8 of season 8 of FRL. It's the Australian Grand Prix. I'm in here, Nexie. I also have Kurtas here in the booth to provide in some extra fill whenever he so desires. But you may say hello if you wish.
Yep. Hello. Well, ni hao. Name's Prit, and I'm backed by semi-popular demand.
Oh, don't be hard on yourself, man. You're fine. I like having you here.
Just poking fun.
I know. But we are currently getting underway. I'm having some technical fun TM on my end. So the session is underway, 17 minutes of qualifying, and I see a Haas right now.
Jork is out on track, currently speaking.
Indeed.
The first out on track.
Indeed, that is Jork right there in the Haas going on through. Still in the outlap. I see an Evo out there as well. 2 Aston Martins today. 2 Ferraris today, Nitro and Kimaru.
Something to note about Albert Park. 14 turns, the circuit is built around a lake, so elevation is mostly flat. 77 a lap is spent on full throttle.
Indeed, it's mostly flat. You can see there are still a couple dips, especially around that front straight you can see, but especially by F1 standards, it is a flat track. We got Nitro also going to be going on out, but we have Jork starting his hot lap right here, going on through this reprofiled chicane, going on to the back stretch. There used to be a chicane here. Now it's just flat out corner into the second DRS zone of Albert Park.
And I think since 2023-2024 years, in 4 DRS zones. Well, I think among the most.
I think it is the most.
A good chunk of F1 tracks.
It's certainly the most on the current calendar, I believe. As you can see, Jork bogging down a little bit under braking, but able to kind of get it through, not taking the full exit, setting the banker, going on through. And then you want to be as flat as you can here, missing that apex a little bit, but it's okay. As Jork is going to cross the line and set us a 1:22.3, as Avo did not start her first lap. Going on through Sector 1. Sector 1, one of the big overtaking zones here. You can overtake in a couple spots. But it's...
And so had some brief yellow flags for a moment there. That was Nitro, I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe, considering they are in the garage. And we have an Avo going on back out, and I do not see a front wing on her car. I love this game.
Yeah, that's probably a graphical truck.
Yeah, don't worry. The front wing is there. We've seen this a couple times. I can even see the shadow of the front wing on the turrets. We have a couple other drivers here. We have Leo P, the first of 2 Mercedes. We have Mavi also here. Mavi actually getting his second win.
And we have both Racing Bulls out on their flyers.
Indeed. Thera is the one who has been struggling with these cars for a bit, struggling with the tire wear, and is still soldiering on now, but he has been kind of struggling today and throughout the season. But we have our championship runner-up right now, Lenny, going on through. Taking a big gap out of the points from last time on outwinning the last race. Lenny hoping to continue to narrow that lead that John, our sole Gulf Williams today, has in the championship.
And defending champion at that.
Indeed. Our current gap at the standings right now is about... It is actually exactly 25 points, so if Lenny wins and John crashes, it will be
He
tied.
falls out of the points for some reason or another.
That will be through crashing. There's 11 drivers, technically one could finish the race and then not get points. You could also not get points by not doing 90% race distance. I forgot if we do that. I think we do, but it rarely comes up that the 90% rule matters with points. But it is a sparse track today, so that may come on up. For drivers like Jork, also searching for points. Same with Nitro, searching for points. It's a good opportunity as well. But at least put yourself onto the scoreboard, if that is what you so wish. It does feel good to get points, doesn't it?
Yep. That's a feeling I've been long since chasing.
Indeed.
Before my reappearance up here in the comp
Yes,
box.
that from what we know, that computer is not being very kind to you today. Nor was it being kind to me as this qualifying session goes in. 10 minutes, 50 seconds to go. We have Leo setting a time. 1:16.6, our Season 4 champion. Managing to get a representative time. Though Luck, as well, winner of the Belgian Grand Prix this season. In that Soul Sauber, the neon green, the last iteration of the Sauber F1 team. That car has been put onto pole position here with a 1:16.434, only 100th of a second ahead for provisional pole. And that's an Aston Martin going very on the hot fast, but behind. That looks to be Skylar on an outlap. All those drivers he just let by, except for maybe that Mercedes, are on outlaps. John's also on an outlap now. Mavi is actually... Yeah, no, so that was actually just Leo on his in-lap. So Mavi is just in Sector 2 right now, going pretty quick. Car is looking nice and agile. This is a race winner we are looking at. The Brazilian going to be braking hard into here. Going to be looking at managing to avoid that gravel trap on the outside. You don't want to take it too wide.
There's a Ferrari spun round. There's Ferrari.
I think that is Nitro.
Nitro again.
Nitro, who I believe served a race ban after backing up onto the circuit into a Aston Martin in Mexico. But also just getting a feel.
Though quite visibly struggling with the often uncooperative Ferrari SF25.
And it is quite uncooperative. I mean, it's a Ferrari F1 car. We all know the joke. We all know the line. As Mavi did manage to just beat out his teammate there on that hot lap as that was going on with a 1:16.612. Skylar down for 1:18.7 as well. That puts him provisionally P7 as luck improves ever so slightly. That was 0.003 of a second. Remarkably consistent lap time from the Hungarian. I also see Kimaru starting his lap. He got onto the podium for the first time this season. A few races ago. And he's looking to take that Ferrari back up if he can.
Back where it rightfully should be. If Ferrari corporate is to be concerned.
Yeah. But we all know the line.
Yeah.
We all know the line, Bart. As Kimaru's gonna be rocking on by that Sauber. The yellow flags are not anything crazy there. That is just luck letting people by. He might also be on low fuel. But we'll see about that. Really just depends on how many laps he put in and how quickly he's able to go here, as Nitro's now going on into Sector 3. Takes a little bit of curb. The number 20 gonna be looking on through, gets out nice to the exit, and just rolls it straight on down to a 1:17.598. Almost a tenth of a second thereabouts behind Avo. And he has to Martin up ahead. Those two have been fighting for quite a bit this season.
It's just sandwiched between both Aston Martin and Mercedes.
Indeed, a very familiar duo, both to those who have been around for a while, and also to Kimaru, I am sure, used to seeing the Brit and the Canadian rocketing that green Aston Martin. That is Lee. I see Leo finishing up a hot lap here, too. Crosses the line provisionally, pole! He's not been the most comfortable this season so far, but that is a 1:16.398. About half a tenth ahead of luck.
Track's evolving quite quickly.
Indeed. Throughout all of this, John was not able to set a lap time so far, so he is still in his garage in P11. Williams' team getting ready for their final run. Which there is some confidence if you invalidate your banker to not go out and do another banker.
Unless the Nardo Dragon from the Atlanta Metro has enough confidence to pull it off.
He does. I can tell you, talking from him, he is a driver that loves to exude confidence in himself and the car and the season in general. He's absolutely confident that he can do this, and I don't blame him. And even, like, worst case scenario, I, just from knowing, there's a reason he's up there so often, in and out every week. And it's because even if this does go wrong and he has to start in the back, he knows he'll get back up there. He just won't let it phase him. He'll just be like, he'll just probably swear a little bit into the headset and then get right on down to work. And when you only have 11 drivers on the grid, too, I guess this is the least bad kind of grid to have an issue on, where you have to start at the back and do a last to first challenge. You're at least not, you know, Schumacher in 1998 having to do it from 25th. Sorry, 21st, I think it was. Can't remember.
He'll probably check later. Anyway, there's the second Ferrari Nitro on his outlap.
Yep. He's about to go on through, speaking of Ferrari drivers. Number 19 here is zipping on by. A little wiggly out with the rear. But we'll see what he's able to do as he begins his flyer here. I do also see Lenny going out pretty early, all things considered.
Just barely under 3 minutes left in the session.
Yeah, presumably that is for his final run. There's something to be said if you're seeing so many drivers hold back as long as they are, that you could just kind of guarantee yourself that clean air, especially because what has happened, and we've seen this happen a couple times, because of pace differences, you can get caught up behind somebody if you don't make the space for yourself. And now the gaggle of cars is starting to come on out, but to finish that point, once you're on your hot lap, you are entitled to your hot lap. You can do it. You're not getting in the way. You're not expected to give up your hot lap because a guy who is faster than you is coming on up. So, you can say it's a fine idea to just get out and kind of guarantee yourself that clean air. Nitros, that's a no improvement. 122.2. His end, and I see.
He still stays in the same position.
Indeed, here we go, though. A whole lot of drivers are going to set a lap time right as we cross the line. But we first of all have Lenny, who is very slow. He's doing 2 build-up laps, actually. So he's going to have slightly more worn tires throughout this process, but he will get clean air, and he will get back in time. As you can see, there's a whole gaggle of cars over there.
Rather unusual strategy for Lenny.
We've seen, usually it's been the Aston Martins I've seen doing that, but our first of the final times will be Luck. And then we'll see John, who will set his first time.
His first and only time.
Assuming he does not invalidate. But Luck is improving right now. About 2-3 times quicker right now, and he's going on through a very committed turn 6-7, and then you get this braking zone. Not 6-7. Whatever.
10 and 11 was it?
Yes, the very committed ones, and now we're going on through the final turns. York staying in the pits as time expires. Luck.
Checker flag's out.
Yep,
Luck was the 161.
Yep, that is a 116.195, so about 2 tenths ahead of Leo. John only manages P4 there. That's a 116.490. We're going to have 2 Mercedes crossing the line. Couple drivers going on through. Skylar only set the 118 flat. Avo not able to improve much herself either. That's Sierra getting a 116.6. Leo's going to be crossing the line right now. He's pretty quick, it looks like. This is going to be a 115 something, I think. Nope, it's a 116.312.
Just behind his former teammate.
Indeed, Mavi is down at 116.6 and bailed out of it in the pits. Lenny is going to go on through here. He also looks pretty quick. That's a 116 flat. That brings him up to pole position ahead of Luck into Sauber. And then it's Leo. P3, about 3 tenths behind his countryman. As they now go on through, we await the final drivers to finish their laps. I don't think Kimaru finished his lap.
Yeah, he's peeled into pit road.
I'm seeing that car peel into the pits, so now everybody's going to wait for this Ferrari pit crew before we move on to the Australian Grand Prix. Quite a qualifying session there. Puts Lenny on pole position for the race. Luck, P2 to Hungarian in a German sandwich. Leo, P3. One of his higher starts for the year. He's been always on the second row consistently this year.
which means positions 2, 3, 4 are essentially stuck in the minority sandwich.
Yeah. Technically. You didn't have John in P4. One of his worst starts, actually. But I think he was trying to be a little bit careful going on through. We do have mandatory 2 stops still in effect.
Mandatory 2 stops because drivers on pads suffer from increased tire wear for some odd reason.
Well, it's more just, it's easier to be smooth on a controller, or not on a controller, on a wheel than it is on a controller. You can, if you match the inputs exactly, do it.
It's a bit tedious.
Not just, it's difficult. Tedious is, I don't think I would use that. But, indeed it is tedious, it is difficult. We'll see what we can do, and what these drivers are going to do about it. What strategies they have cooking on up. We've seen a lot of play around early safety cars too, though with only 11 drivers, the risk of that's a lot lower. Maybe a couple more drivers will opt to start on a softer compound here. See what they can get out of these cars. About a minute to go until the formation lap. And these drivers are going to be getting as much heat as they can into those tires. Gotta do their very best to get them prepped up. Make sure their strategy's in order. Make sure that their setups are tuned. Make sure their fuel is correct. And hopefully, for everybody on the track, this will be a nice and smooth race. A little bit of action to look forward to as well. Lenny is going to have a good chance to eat into that 25-point gap he sees in front of him in the championship standings. John, starting off the podium, is going to have to do his best to get back onto it. You know he hungers for that podium. He wants it. I think our standard guys in the paddock there were very excited as we begin our formation lap right now, and I'm seeing all 3 tire compounds right now. But it's Lenny starting on the hard compound tire, then it's Luck and Leo in qualifying our lead. Sauber and Mercedes starting on medium tires today. Finishing out the second row is the Sol Williams and our reigning champion, John, starting on the hard tires. Third row, both running mediums. It's the second V-Carb of Sierra and the second Mercedes of Mavi. Both running medium tires. Fourth row is our sole soft runner, Avo, starting on the soft tire. And that's going to be her essentially starting right on here. She had quite a strong start to the campaign. Kimaru on the medium tires started P8. Not a bad qualifying, but not his best or worst position either. Skylar P9 leading off the 5th row in the second Aston Martin, choosing to go for the exact opposite of his teammate. Hard compounded tires. And then it's Jork. Jork on the mediums. Getting ready. Finally, starting out of the points provisionally, P11, Nitro, opting to take the Ferrari onto the hard compound of tires. With the 2 stops, we're expecting pretty a pretty early stop for especially these medium runners. The hard runners are going to try to create that offset, get onto the medium tires at the end. Notably, Lenny and John are starting on the same tire. So there won't be strategy to separate them. There will just be their pace and merit, at least for now. As we get ready to go here for the Australian Grand Prix in a few moments' time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And FRL's away in Australia very quickly there. And I think that caught a few of them off. I see a V-carb off in the grass. Sierra going out wide. And that's going to be him behind Kimaru and Avo. As Luck managed to get the jump off of Lenny on the medium compound there. Using the softer tire compound to get that acceleration. And now Leo may even have a look here. As that's a Mercedes even having a look at John. That's Mavi right there on the inside of John, I see. As Luck's starting to stream on ahead, and Lenny's had a slow getaway, and that's Luck. Almost the second, crucially for him, away from Lenny. Right on there. So it's Lenny, Leo, John in 2, 3, and 4. Luck in the lead of this Grand Prix. Mavi in P5 now. Gonna be looking to put some pressure on John. Use his medium tires while he still has the advantage there, but John's also getting a run on Leo. John has a quick look to the inside, but decides against it, and that's Luck very wide and in the gravel. I think Luck just outbroke himself there on those medium tires, and that's gonna let both Lenny and then Leo through, but unfortunately for John, he's now stuck behind the slower Sauber. As that Sauber had to get back up at the racing speed. Further on down, it's Mavi. It's Avo ahead of Sierra. Avo on the soft tires, really getting a good launch out of there. Skylar fell down a position, I believe. And then it's Jork ahead of Nitro. As they're starting to stream on from the back of the pack. No crashes yet. This field has been on pretty good behavior, all things considered. Minus Luck getting into the gravel trap, as Luck's now going to start to put pressure onto the German and the Mercedes here. And if Luck goes for it, Lenny has a chance now to get ahead, break the DRS. Rocking on through turn 2. They're going on through. I see Leo now 2 temps, 4 temps. Almost cutting that corner, actually. And I think there was a little bit of a curb bump, and that's why he slowed down. But DRS at least is going to keep him up to Lenny and help it defend from the Hungarian behind. So far, lap 2 right now looks like it's going to end with Lenny, Leo, Luck, John, Mavi, Avo. That's our top 6 in that order. Then it's Sierra, Kimaru, Skylar, Jork, Nitro. I'm seeing Avo starting to fall behind here, and that's going to be Sierra looking to the inside of the country, of the British Raven. Avo goes a little bit wide, and that's going to invite Kimaru, and Kimaru and Avo have some contact. That's Avo's rear tires hitting the wall. Her teammate's not getting on through, and I see another yellow flag up ahead, but that was Luck now getting on past Lenny for the lead once again. Luck recovering his position on up, as Lenny's just not got pace on those hard tires right now on this third lap. 3rd and 29, so there's still plenty to go. But it looks like Lenny is struggling for pace here, as our top 3 continue to fight it on out. And that's Avo passed right on back Kimaru. After the little tank slapper the bird suffered there. It's Kimaru. That was Lenny maybe looking a little bit to the inside, or just trying to get some clean air as they enter Sector 3. This is a tight technical part of the track. They slip on through. Last corner here, and then you're flat on out. Across the line. So that Sauber's now holding the lead again. Lenny looking to the outside. Luck had to go a little bit defensive. Not very defensive, but just a little bit. You see a little bit difference in the car's body language as they traverse that first turn. And then you can see Luck almost skidding a little bit. Lenny's gonna have a shot here. And then it's Leo Mavi. Mavi managed to get by John through all this. That Williams is not liking Albert Park right now. Nor is it really enjoying the hard tires. The race should come to our hard tire runners as Avo is now very slow on the soft tires, but Kimaru is also pretty slow there. And that's Luck off, and that's just... excuse me, that was both Luck and Lenny off, as that's Leo in the lead of a Mercedes 1-2. I was looking at the minimap, and I couldn't quite fully see what happened there, but now that's John and Lenny gonna be fighting side by side. John squeezes Lenny to the inside, as it looks like I think Luck just outbroke himself into that turn again. And Lenny just wasn't able to get out of the way, and now it's Leo leading this Grand Prix. Mavi P2, John P3, Lenny P4. Jonathan Williams is now ahead and going to be putting pressure on Mavi, whose medium tires should start to fall away. Further back, Skylar and Kamaru were side by side as well. But look at these drivers, they're now just nose to tail with each other. Lenny's probably frustrated at this point. Luck did get a 3-second time penalty in that for track limits violations. So he went over those white lines that define the racing circuit 3 times. You are allowed 3 in this game. With an asterisk that sometimes it will give you the penalty if you take evasive action. As now that's John getting a very good run on Mavi here, but not able to really make a move. And that's Lenny and Luck side by side as well, through into that long right-hander, excuse me. I apparently got my lefts and rights confused, as now John, you can see his Williams, so many DRS flaps open up at once as they go on through. As it is a DRS train to Leo now in the lead, and that's John putting pressure on Mavi. Mavi is a little deep, and that's John in the wall. John in the wall with a tank slapper. I think he clipped the rear wing of Mavi, and then Netcode did a little bit of its thing there, because it didn't look like it should have resulted in that severe of a spin. It looked like it was just a slight bit of contact between the two drivers there, but now John's gonna have a run on Sierra. Sierra might do his best to defend, but Lenny is now back up into the podium places, but I think if that were to happen in real life, that wouldn't have been as severe as it was. I think John was a victim of video game physics there as well. John manages to go by Sierra. Up ahead for P2, Lenny is able to put some pressure on Mavi. But currently, our drivers now, still somehow all of them are in DRS with each other. Further back, Kimaru got on through. Avo pit onto the hard tires. So I think her strategy is to just do hard and hard. Lap 6 of 29, about to be lap 7 of 29. And we have had 3 different race leaders. And we've had our championship leader and runner-up both in the wall at least once. John has been in there twice, it looked like. We've had so far, none of them have managed to get enough damage to retire, luckily for them. No, John's only been in there once. I was confusing it earlier instance. It wouldn't be a stream with me without some Nexiisms as we go on through. Lenny looking to maybe get to the back of this, of Mavi here. The Mercedes, the Brazilian looking to fight to the bitter end for his teammates, or to even get his own race win. Leo's not yet had a race win this season, and this is also where he won the championship in Season 4. His Luck now has a go. Luck able to get alongside ever so slightly with Lenny, but not able to make much of it, heads or tails. Looks like the medium tires are starting to run out. Is that both Mercedes pit? No, that is just Leo pitting. Leo pits first on lap 7 of 29. And that's Luck also in the pits. And Sierra. The rest of these medium runners should be pitting relatively soon, as now John has a go on Lenny through turn 1, but not able to make it work. And John gets along the inside here, and they're side by side as they go on through turns 3 and 4. Now going on through 5, and that's John ahead. John ahead as they go into Sector 2 right now, through the DRS detection point. John's a little bit off track. I think it was... No, that was Lenny off track. Excuse me. The sun glare confused me. But Mavi now has a 2-second gap to the two behind him, as they were just side by side through a very technical section. And when you do that, you compromise your racing line so much. And you can see that effect right on there. Your racing line, your in, out, in line. John was very wide for a moment there. I think he just kind of outbroke himself. But now Lenny also outbroke himself. And now these two are nose to tail again. John and Lenny putting on one heck of a show as Mavi pits. And so it's going to be Lenny taking the current lead of the Grand Prix, but not the net lead. As this is where the strategy divergences really start to play on out. That is Sierra with a time penalty for track limits violations. I can see back there. Sierra behind Luck, not in the DRS. And that's John getting on by Lenny, excuse me. And it looked like he just had more battery and acceleration out of that turn. I'm not sure what happened there. Lenny seems pretty slow now. Does he have a broken wing? I can't... No, his wing's fine. Perspective threw me off a second, but... Yeah, Lenny's fine damage-wise. I think he's just out of battery. And he is so bogged down, and that means John can use his own battery to take advantage and start to pull ahead here. As our high-speed chess match continues between these two right now. This isn't for a net lead, though. 3 drivers yet to pit. 5, if you count Jork and Nitro, actually. But 3 drivers currently out of position yet to pit. John, Lenny, and Skylar. Then it's the 2 Mercedes who have pit, Leo and Mavi. Then it's Luck and Sierra. Pit stops will cost you about 22 seconds. Thereabouts. There's actually a chance these two end up behind Sierra here. As Leo sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's going to be catching up to Skylar. All those drivers back there who have pit so far have done a compound change. So they don't need to change their compound again. John, Lenny, Skylar, and Nitro do need to change their compounds at some points in the Grand Prix. When they decide to depends on their strategy call. But I'm seeing John and Lenny going on through. John's about 3 tenths ahead. Lenny's managed to get back on up. Both using quite a bit of battery. But not all the way. And then it's Leo leading a bit of a train, as they both pit on the exact same lap right now. No box opposites here, no games like that, and this is going to allow Leo in that Mercedes, the Silver Arrows, to get on ahead. I think there's even a chance Avo might get ahead of this group. Or might get ahead of these two. We'll see. I see them coming out of the pits now, so no, Avo's going to be fine there, but that's Sierra ahead of John. That is a worst-case scenario if you are the Puerto Rican driver, because Sierra's on 3-lap old hard tires. He has been struggling with this car, but he's still fast. Skylar is now also in this gaggle of cars, a little bit out of position. Avo's ahead of Kimaru, who is her main competition there. Nitro's got a 3-second time penalty for track limit violations, as Jork is pitting onto the hard tires. But it's Leo now in a pretty big lead for this Grand Prix. And that's Lenny managing to rocket on by John with DRS and a little bit of battery. We'll see if there's any team games. There are team games. Lenny just got right on by Sierra. Sierra, who is only on 3-lap old hard tires. They were racing each other. They wouldn't have to... It looked like Sierra did lift. Slightly. He was usually a little bit slower. And now Lenny's going to rocket ahead. We'll see what Sierra has in the tank. If there is anything he can do to defend for his teammates and title contender here. Because up ahead, as Skylar pits onto medium tires, up ahead are 2 Mercedes and a Sauber. Luck up front is starting to get very close to Mavi right now. Looking to the inside, look to the outside. I see some yellow flags. Is that Nitro? It is Nitro in the grass. That's a Ferrari in the grass. You can see the Scuderia limping onto the track. That's going to allow Jork to maybe get some positions up here. Going back ahead, it's Luck now putting a lot of pressure onto Mavi. Looks to the inside, decides against a dive. He's learned a little bit of patience throughout his racing. There's a version of Luck that I've seen before in a couple races where he would have actually just sent it there and then there would have been a crash. As I see some yellow flag, is that John? And our championship leader has spun. I think he had an incident there with Sierra, and now he's side by side with Avo. John has spun. Manages to get on by Avo. I was not able to see that. I was looking at the fight for that second place on the podium, but Sierra's an aggressive defender. I would know. I used to race against him a little bit. He does defend aggressively, and commentating him for 4 seasons now, he is very aggressive when he wants to be. As these drivers continue their runs on down, John is now well out. Depending on whose fault that is, that might... in fact, be quite a predicament now that John is in. I see yellow flags up ahead as well. I'm not sure for who. That may have been for Luck. I think that was for Luck, because he's now fallen off 2 seconds from Mavi, and now Lenny's actually starting to put some pressure on well, if you're Sierra and your assignment was to defend for your life, you certainly did defend for your life. So no matter what happened there, whether or not it was a penalty or if it was just some hard racing. Regardless, that is John John pretty well out of the fight here. Assuming a safety car does not happen, which, given how many drivers we have had at the wall, how many close calls we've had here, it's not out of the question that there will be a safety car or there won't be a safety car, as that's Lenny to the inside of the DRS zone. That's almost a IndyCar style pass right there. You get the slipstream, a little bit DRS, you're flat on a turn, you manage to just get on through. That's Lenny up into the podium positions. And these are true podium positions right now. Everybody's on one stop. And that's Luck. Ooh, Luck getting a little squirrely at the end of the lap there. But it's a Mercedes 1-2 so far. Lenny sets the fastest lap at the Grand Prix with a 1:19.5. But it's the Luck, and then it's Sierra. Sierra's going to be putting some pressure onto the Hungarian now. He's almost a DRS. He is a DRS now. Depending on the detection point that they get to. Lenny's turned up the gas. He's starting to eat in the Mavi now. He is currently P3. John's not quite got as much pace here in Australia. Luck with another 3-second time penalty for track limits violations. That does make... both penalties do make John's recovery essentially easier. As that's Sierra now rocketing to the outside once again, and the Sierra's through. I see more yellow flags out. As that is the Ferrari once again in the grass, trying to get into the pits. But it's so far Leo, Mavi, Lenny is our current net position right now. And then it's Sierra and Luck. Then John. Then Avo. Himaru, Skylar, Jork, Nitro. After our first pit stage is Nitro choosing the medium tires. Skylar also on medium tires. Our next pit stop should be happening momentarily, what with Leo and Mavi both on pretty old hard tires at this point. We saw Skylar push them to 10. Avo's managed to push them to 10. As the cars get lighter, it gets a little easier to really start pushing those tires, but we'll see. We'll see how they decide to come on into the pits. But yeah, your tires do wear less with lighter cars, lighter fuel loads. I think Avo and Skylar are both on wheel as well, which does... it does matter to a degree. Sierra and John are now fighting once again. Sierra and John side by side here. John's on the inside. He managed to get there through the DRS. He just has so much better tires. And there was even more wheel banging I noticed between these two. I don't think there's any love lost between these two in this Grand Prix, seeing how they're driving. John now has to go very defensive with Sierra having DRS. Sierra's close. Locks out of the race! Did he just retire in the pits? I think Luck just retired in the pits. He was still on for a decent points finish. I'm not entirely sure why he would retire in the pits there. I mean, if you're not having fun, it's a game, so I guess don't finish a game if you're not having fun. That's my PSA for you all. Who cares about points in the game if you're not having fun? But also, you were still on for a good finish, even with the penalties. I'm not going to be too hard, but... or too demanding. That Luck must finish. Except I am. Luck, you should have finished. 5-head. I could be hip with the memes too, as Leo is now going into the pits. So our final stint of the race is underway here. We'll see the tire choices. Leo choosing the hard tires makes sense. It looked slow for a little bit, but that's just because the spectator menu bugs again. And that's Lenny really up on Mavi right now. Mavi's gonna have to defend for his teammate and himself, frankly. His hard tires have got to be out of it by now. But Leo does have the net lead of the Grand Prix here. Sierra is too far up the road to really make a difference there. Leo got ahead of the Ferrari and Aston Martin that are back there as well. Crucially for him, is that Lenny getting on through in DRS. But Mavi's surely pitting now. And now Lenny has an interesting decision to make, because these two are going to be on fresh hard tires. No, he has to keep going, because he started on the hard tires. So does John. They both have to keep going. They did the opposite strategy. If you pit now, you... Mavi's going another lap. Fascinating choice from Mavi there. I don't know why. I guess I don't know what he gains from continuing on. He does have DRS to Lenny.
Which I find slightly odd.
Yeah, maybe he's just gonna go for another lap and then... Either that or his second tire compound is medium. Like, he brought 2 sets of mediums and only 1 hard, whereas Leo brought 2 hards. But he is now out of the DRS of Lenny. No, he's back in it. It's very close, I should say. But he is burning a lot of battery to stay within DRS, which it does keep his lap times competitive. Or at least comparable to the V-Carb in P1 right now. John's in the background there. You can see him looming. Sierra did pit onto a new set of hard tires through all this as well. And now Mavi's pitting. I think just wanted the extra lap. Which, maybe the extra lap will matter with how high the tire wear is, but Leo is going to get well ahead of his teammate here. But now our current positions are on track. Lenny P1, John P2, Leo P3. Leo has the net lead at this Grand Prix. He seems to always do pretty well here in Australia. There was a race where he defended so many people behind very well for Troy. He's won here. He's won his championship here. It's fitting right now for him to do very well here in Albert Park.
The championship that would have been his swan song a long time ago.
Indeed, Avo is on 14 lap-old hard tires. I've just seen this. Himaru pit onto fresh hards a little bit ago, so Avo is surrendering track position here. Unless Skylar really holds him up. Which Skylar might. Who knows? I think Skylar has pit. Yeah, Skylar has pit on this is his second set of hard tires.
Yeah.
But Skylar's done with his pit stops, so he can just afford to keep the Ferrari back. Avo's now pitting, so we'll see where that puts her compared to Himaru, and that's a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pits.
Oh no.
That one's a slam dunk one, and that is going to be hurtful for the Brit.
Avo's gonna be kicking themselves for that rather foolish error.
I think we've literally all been there, but it is still quite an easy mistake here. And you feel gutted when you see that, because it is pretty cut and dry. There's no appealing or getting around it. And 10 seconds is the current penalty for it. It is a very harsh penalty that is just carried over from IRL. And so, when the 5-second standard became a 10-second standard.
And I think the only way to get rid of it would be to stop both to run to pit road again.
Yep. And that would be a little bit too much time lost, as that is Leo now taking the lead at the Grand Prix. Mavi also sets a fastest lap. The two of them traded fastest laps. John is behind. He did pit onto his medium tires to get up into a net P4. Lenny's up and doing that P3 on medium tires as well. So
fresh set of mediums as well.
Yep. So 2 of them on fresh mediums. Nitro has a 3-second time penalty for track limits violations. Zero also has a couple penalties over his head right now. But Kimaru, if you're down in that fight with the Aston Martins, Kimaru just has the assignment of, okay, I just need to not kill my tires and stay in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
If you're Avo, you're trying to set 7 quality laps here. Similar up ahead, though not quite to the same extreme. If you're Mavi, you're going to have to get ready to defend pretty much like no driver has had to defend before. It's a very hard one.
Defend like a lion, as a certain old Spaniard once said.
Indeed. Funny thing is, I don't really see lions as that defensive of animals. I see them more like the aggressor. I'm trying to think. Maybe we should make it defend like an ankylosaur. Have you seen how much armor those things have?
Maybe, but that doesn't roll off the tongue very well.
Yeah, well, I'll save the metaphor for the poets as we go on through into with these 3. Gone right on down there. Well, John's gonna be hovering in the background here, but it looks like P4 is going to be his finishing position. He got ahead of Sierra in that pit phase, which is what matters for his race.
Yeah. P4 as long as an act of God doesn't hit the top 3.
Indeed, which Leo is slowing down. Mavi's managed to catch on up, and this is exactly what Lenny was looking for. And now the Mercedes are just hoping that they have some kind of castle wall here to slow down Lenny, because he is going to be on fresh medium tires compared to their more worn hard tires. So they have a double disadvantage here, both in terms of compound thickness, compound softness, and in terms of tire wear. So it's pointing to Lenny right now. But they have about 6 laps here to go.
6 laps left, and how hard can they defend? Just how hard can they prevent this low minority from getting past?
Indeed. Here they go on through. Taking a little bit of curb, but not too much. We'll see what they're able to do. Swing on out. And now Lenny has a run on Mavi. Mavi is he's holding the outside. He's not quite going defensive. Lenny could have made a move here. I'm surprised he didn't go for a move here. Because now he is very nose to tail here. Taking up a lot of slipstream, but Mavi has made that Mercedes wide. They go on through, and now Mavi has a little bit of a run through the harder section here. Tries to squeeze a little bit, and that's Mavi remaining ahead. But more importantly, that lets Leo get a little bit of breathing space. May even be able to break the DRS. Lenny just trying to take it cautiously. That caution might bring John into this as well. John managed to eat out a second to this gaggle of cars here. Maybe that's part of their... Well, no, it's probably not part of their conscious effort to bring in another contender for this win, but...
Yeah, that doesn't sound like too great of a strategy.
No, but... We'll see what they're doing, as Lenny now has to recharge for another go. He's had his struggles this season. But he is eating into that gap. Ever so slowly. It was and still is a long season. We'll see what they're able to do, Lenny. Now, once again, nose to tail with Mavi, the Brazilian, gonna be defending hard here. And Lenny to the inside there, but Mavi's gonna have the inside as the chicane switches back around. He gets as much of the outside line as he can, and he's ahead.
Just slight little barge.
Yeah, there was a little bit of wheel to wheel, but they are very hard racing here.
And that's what we like to see.
Indeed. Mavi managing to make that car as wide as he can. The Brazilian defending very well here right now. And Lenny has a 3-second time penalty through all of this, and that's gonna cost him not just the win here, because he's not gonna be able to get that gap if he gets first in 3 seconds. That might even give John the podium. John's 3.6 seconds behind.
If John catches up, that's effectively sinks Lenny's hopes of a podium finish.
Indeed, that is a terrible time to get that penalty here. And now if you're John, you're just thinking about what lap time you could do without getting a penalty yourself. That's enough to eat into this gap, and he just wants to get on by. I think he still has to get by, just more worrying about John than about the win here. Now have a very interesting dynamic as things go on. Mavi is looking to defend hard once again, but Lenny might go for a move here. He is going to go for a move here, but it's quick, and he's not able to do it. You were very committed through this turn. And if you cannot send it there, you can send it here. It's more of a braking zone. But he chooses not to, and they defend very well, and that's Leo also very... They are so nose to tail here on lap 27. We're entering the penultimate lap of this Australian Grand Prix, and there is still a lot to be decided. As that's Lenny looking for a double overtake, and there's contact!
Ooh.
Lenny couldn't slow it on down enough, and that's John ahead, and that's Leo now in P3. And Lenny spins it again, trying to get back on.
That's gonna cause some.
Lenny's out. I think he just hit the quit button through all of that, which means he gets 1 point instead of. Yeah, he manually retired. Why would you do that?
Why?
You would have still gotten P5. So now that's John P2, but that's Leo off of the lead here, tragically. Tragically, as N is also watching.
I know that's gonna kick off some fireworks.
Oh, there might be some angry German noises after this. I'm surprised Lenny chose to quit in the adrenaline. Like, he normally doesn't let the adrenaline get to him that hard. He does sometimes let adrenaline get to him, I won't lie, but that is a surprising decision I've seen, because his car was fine. His car was not broken.
Yeah. It's a very foolhardy move to pull off.
Yeah, that just gives... Yeah, because that's going to put him into P10. He only gets 1 point, and John's going to be finishing with 18 here. That adds 17 to his lead. You just make your job much harder. Like, yeah, like... With that, maybe throw in a penalty for that move. You finish, what, P7? that's still, like, it means John only adds, like, 10 points compared to the 17.
Just effectively just hands him an open goal.
Indeed, but as we go on through on our last lap, an explosive end to the Grand Prix. Mavi going on through. He takes the final turn for the final time, and Mavi gets his third win in FRL, and his first win in the Australia Grand Prix. And that's John with yellow flags there. He lets Leo by. So that's
Which
Leo
means it's a Mercedes
P2.
1-2. It's
I
an
think
all
John felt bad for Leo, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And
so this still effectively means it's an all Mercedes powered podium.
indeed, so Leo, arguably the deserving winner of the race. If you want to play that game anyway. Leo takes P2 on a track that he is very, very good at. He's won his championships here. He's won this race both for him and his teammates. He takes P2. John rounds out the podium, adding 14 points to his lead. Sierra in fourth. A well-run race, all things considered. Kimaru nearly actually fell out of Avo's penalty time there. He's P5, and Avo is P6 by 100th of a second once the penalty is applied. That's heart-racing for the Raven there, who's had many races just come undone by one moment this season, but has also shown a lot of improvement, and you have to recognize that as the Brazilian takes the top step of the rostrum. John had the fastest lap. Skylar and the other Aston Martin take P7. We have Jork taking P8. We have Nitro taking P9, and Lenny taking P10. The 90% rule won't come up there. I do not think it will, anyway. Regardless, it would be the difference between 14 and 15 points. John letting his old teammate by. It's a sporting move. I don't know how Leo will feel about that move, but it is a sporting move. Our front row did not end up finishing the race, funnily enough. And Mavi took it from P6 to the win. That was our Australian Grand Prix here in FRL. I will thank you all very much for watching. Thank you, Pridas, for being in here with me. I'm sorry, you seem to have a lot of technical difficulties throughout that. Yep. Hopefully you'll get back into the car soon.
If I happen to scrounge enough money to get a full-fledged desktop.
Indeed.
But that's a pipe dream.
Don't stop dreaming.
You know how expensive those things are.
Indeed. It was a crazy end. An end that we will probably not be hearing the end of until next week. Speaking of next week, June 6th, we had the Miami Grand Prix. Here on June 6th, same time. And then we have the Austrian Grand Prix, June 15th. There will be a 1-week break, and then it will be Bahrain. I will not be able to stream that one, because I will be off in Ohio, actually. Then we have a break for Independence Day before the final two races. Japan, July 11th. Circuit of the Americas, July 18th. So that's 5 rounds to go. And as we've seen today, anything can happen here. And it often will. Thank you once again for all tuning in. Thank you, Corvex, for hosting today. I would like to thank our stewards too, because they are going to need a lot of luck. Good luck to our stewards after this one.
It's gonna be a pretty busy night.
Uh, Pretty busy week, all things considered.
That too.
Um, there. Uh, right. Well, regardless, I'll see you all in Miami.